Hi guys, and welcome to my preview of the round one of the new FIA Formula One World Championship in 2020 at the Austrian Grand Prix. And finally, after the long wait from the postponement of the Australian Grand Prix in March, F1 is back, and it's and it's going to be a very, very good tight season by the look of it. Now, in news, despite us being in lockdown, there's been big news. So we're going to start with the driving news because I think that's the biggest. Vettel is to leave Ferrari. He is to leave Ferrari after 5 years with the team from 2015 to now. And despite having two chances of winning a title, he hasn't taken them, and beaten by a better Mercedes in Lewis Hamilton. And it begs the question, what will he do next? Will he retire? Will Red Bull give him another contract, another shot, which I doubt, because they usually pick drivers from their Toro Rosso team to help with bringing new blood into the sport. Will he join a lesser team with lesser ambitions like Kimi Räikkönen is at Sauber after being with Ferrari? Or will he retire? That's the big question. Will he retire? Now, to replace him, Sainz is to leave McLaren after this season and last season with the team. He is to replace Vettel at Ferrari. And on the Vettel contract, apparently he was all promised a new contract, and got a phone. Apparently, he got a call or message that there is no deal, and they're letting him go, which clearly shows that obviously they're backing Leclerc. Will Sainz play second fiddle to Leclerc? I think he could give Leclerc a very good run for his money. He's a very good driver, been very good, confident driver from when he was introduced in 2015. The reason he hasn't got, he's only got one podium, which was last season in Brazil, is because he's never had the package, I believe, to really take the fight to the podium places. He went from Toro Rosso to, I believe, Renault, and then from Renault to McLaren. And it wasn't until the new McLaren in 2019 that they had the shot of getting a podium. And Norris is no slouch either, and he's been competing with him very well, and they got on really well. So Norris will have to try and will have to adjust to getting on with Daniel Ricciardo, as Daniel Ricciardo, after only last season and this season, is to leave Renault and leave the team he was supposed to build and bring up back to the top, like Hamilton has done with Mercedes. He's to replace Sainz at McLaren, who McLaren over pre-season testing is showing to be a very fast car, and they have really improved. In terms of testing, we saw that Mercedes were on top. They were trying out, and while Ferrari struggled, they were trying out a new system called the DAS system, where in terms of the toe of a car, down straight, the angle in terms of toe, which helps go around corners, affects the amount of straight line speed you have down the straight. So what they've been doing with this DAS system is where they just pull the steering wheel towards them to adjust the straight line, the toe, so they can go faster down the straight, and then push it back in to then turn the corners. Now, Red Bull are now finally getting the opportunity with the stewards, after the FIA cleared it as not being illegal, to see if it is illegal, because it breaks part permit regulations. They have one ready to say in case they say it is legal. But in terms of part permit conditions, once you leave the garage in Q1, you can't change anything in the car. You can only change tyre pressures and the front wing and the differential. And that's it. So um, but apparently, what it also says in the rules, once the race starts, you can adjust the setup, because the idea is that you couldn't adjust the setup anyway during a race because you'd have to spend an hour in the pit lane. So in terms of qualifying, they can't use it, but in terms of the race, they could. So we'll wait and see what the results from this jury say. If not, they'll just have to take it off. But I still think they'll be just as strong without it anyway. In terms of F1 and the coronavirus, they've been using their bases to help with the building of ventilators for like Mercedes have, and using their technology and expertise to develop the defibrillators, not defibrillators, the ventilators and all the other stuff needed to fight this pandemic, which shows why F1 is such an important sport to not just the car industry but the world in terms of technology advancement. Is always at the forefront of technology, and in terms of other news, Hamilton obviously last few weeks, especially since the death of George Floyd, he first came out with a tweet which wasn't backed by other drivers, which was surprising, about the fact that we need to implement change in terms of diversity in the sport, as well as the world. And he only got support after a protest that he went to in Hyde Park, where he took every precaution possible in terms of the pandemic, and is now received the backing of Chase Kearney, the owner of Formula One, who's donated $1 million to help him set up a diversity commission to help more drivers from ethnic minorities get into the sport. Like Susie Wolff has implemented a new women's series to help women drivers get into Formula One and Formula E and other motorsports. So, and in terms of other support for Hamilton and the Black Lives Matter movement, Mercedes have come out with a brand new livery for this season. Instead of the silver livery they had in testing, it's completely black. Hamilton will be wearing a black helmet. I don't know if it's going to be for this weekend or it's going to be for the season, but Mercedes showing their support for change and for an end to racism. So we'll get into the calendar. The calendar, obviously, there's only 8 races confirmed at the minute. There's supposed to be more confirmed at a later date. The Monaco Grand Prix, which was back in May, was cancelled completely. They are bringing the Spanish Grand Prix back. That's confirmed to be back. But there's other races they need to confirm. So there's 8 races at the minute. So you've got this weekend, the Austrian Grand Prix. They're calling it the Steiermark Grand Prix at this, next week, which is the region of Austria. So there's 2 races in Austria, but they can't name it the second Austrian Grand Prix, because regulations state that it can only be one country. So they're naming it sort of a different name. So that's why when you had the European Grand Prix in Germany, in Nürburgring, they called it the Grand Prix of Europe instead of the Grand Prix of Germany. So you've got Austria twice this week and next week. There's the Hungarian Grand Prix round 3. Then it's the Silverstone Grand Prix. And if I just check the calendar updated, it will be the second British Grand Prix will be named the Emirates Formula One 70th Anniversary Grand Prix, which is fitting since it started 70 years ago, because this is the 70th year of drama, of controversy, of epic racing action and technology. And how fitting that the 70th Anniversary Grand Prix that they're going to name, which would have been possible if it weren't for the coronavirus pandemic, but they're going to name it at the British Grand Prix where it first started. So then you've got the Spanish Grand Prix after that. Then the Belgian one. There's no break, summer break in August, right? Because they really had a break beforehand. Then you've got the Italian Grand Prix. And obviously F2 and F3. If I just check their calendars. So round 1 will be this week, round 2 as well. So it's the same calendar. So they're just following the same calendar as the F1. So it's so they can have some sort of a season. Right? There's not going to be 22 races. We know that. It was going to be the longest year this year. It's not going to be that now. It will be probably next year. But at least they'll get some sort of a season done for this year. And it's, again, Hamilton now, obviously, as world champion, 6-time world champion, going for the equaling record of championships, equaling the Great Michael Schumacher for 7. And he's favourites at the minute to do that, especially after pre-season testing. And I'm, as a massive Hamilton fan, hope he does, because it proves how good of a driver he is. Right? If you can't see how good he's been as a driver, right, then you need to really watch Formula One a lot more. Really do. Because, yes, he has the fastest car, but then he's got a teammate to fight, and he's fought Rosberg, he's fought Alonso, he's fought Kovalainen, who was never good enough anyway, Button, who is a champion, and he's fought now Bottas, and he's beat them all. So, yeah, and I still think he'll go for another 5 years at least. So, in terms of the actual regulations, because obviously next year the regulations are going to be changed, were supposed to be changed to help with budget control, as well as a lot of difference to the engine and the cars. They're going to be postponed till next year, because teams on limited budget need the revenue and prize money from each Grand Prix they go to be able to help build the car. Mercedes can just build another car, same as Ferrari and Red Bull, but the smaller teams can't afford it. Right? To just build a car for the season, not use it, not get any revenue, and then not being able to, and then have the money to spend to build a new car, especially with all the changes. So they're going to be postponed until 2022. So it gives them a chance to recoup the money next year to then build the car with all the regulation changes. In terms of the paddock, there's obviously strict COVID-19 protocols. Sorry, the base is going to be completely separate to the people going to the Grand Prix. but they'll still be following it live in their bases, but with less people. So there'll also be a limited number at the circuit. No journalists allowed in the paddock, right? And only people that are to do with the operations in the garage. Yeah, so sorry, I'm getting really dry now. Mm. Oh, it's better. And yeah, and there's hand gels and disinfector in and out of the paddock and all the way around the paddock. Drivers have their own portable cabin for themselves instead of the big motorhomes. They're gone because obviously you're not entertaining guests and all that because there's no fans. And it will be beneficial for some drivers. A lot of drivers benefit by having their own personal space. Sometimes they usually do it by getting headphones in and listening to music before a Grand Prix. But having a one portable cabin will really help them in a way to just get away from all the hustle and hectic weekend schedule, which is helped by the fact that there are no fans, as well as journalists allowed in the paddock. So it gives them time to have their own personal space, and if it means Hamilton wins every Grand Prix, I don't mind that. And speaking of fans, obviously there's no fans obviously allowed, and it won't have so much of an unlike football. It won't have so much of an impact. It will have an impact on this year's these current cars because they're so quiet. I mean, I went to Grand Prix last year, and the only time we used earplugs was the Super Cup that follows F1 around the world. But the rest of them, I didn't need earplugs. You don't need earplugs for them. Even the kids didn't need earplugs because of how quiet they are. And the only reason they get projected a better sound on the TV is because they have microphones all the way around the circuit. But compared to, so for example, Raikkonen, when he overtook Hamilton to retake the lead at the beginning of the Italian Grand Prix, you could hear the roar of the crowd, and it was even over the engine of the cars. You could barely hear the cars, the amount of noise coming from the crowd in that overtake. So they'll miss that in a sense. But in terms of previous eras, especially on TV, you could get away with it because the V8 era and V10, they were so loud you couldn't hear the fans over the TV because of how loud they were. So, but unlike the football, the reason I probably love Formula One more than football in a minute is the fact that yes, Hamilton's not going to win every Grand Prix, but he'll put 110% into every Grand Prix he does. Unlike some of those players on the football pitch, right, at Arsenal in a minute, who are playing like crap, right, and don't put 110% in, right, Ozil being one of them, right, or Bellerin or whatever. All the drivers put 110% in to try and get the best result. So you can't be disappointed in the end in that. Only if they make mistakes, which happen. So my prediction for this weekend, qualifying, I would go with Hamilton on pole. Second, Leclerc, Max Verstappen third, with Bottas fourth, Vettel fifth. In terms of the race result, and I'm going to do top three, which will be Hamilton. I think this time he'll take his opportunity, unlike 2018, and make it work, especially the fact that it's cooler than last year and the year before, which will benefit the Mercedes usually. And I'll go with Leclerc second because of the straight line speed of the Ferrari, though they are struggling. In testing, they would have had time to improve the car. And Bottas third, closely followed by Verstappen. So yeah, that's my predictions. This has been my preview to a long-awaited preview of the new season, and I can't wait for the race on Sunday. So yeah, leave a like, comment. Do you agree with the predictions? Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to win the title? Like I said, I want Hamilton to win the title. That's my biased opinion, right? And I think he will. Or do you think it's going to be Vettel? Or do you think he's going to be so charged up, the fact he's not got his contract and he is leaving, that he'll finally get a title with Ferrari? Right? Or will it be one of the youngsters, Leclerc, Verstappen? Leave all your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Smash a like on this video. Yeah, and share the content and the channel as I try to raise awareness. To any new subscribers, like I said before, thank you so much for subscribing. It means so much. Yeah, and hopefully we enjoy a really good Grand Prix, Austrian Grand Prix, to kick off this season. So stay safe, stay well, and I'll speak to you guys soon.